I don't think you should be able to rent a vagina. Call me old-fashioned, but that's what I happen to believe. That's what essentially you do. You rent a vagina.
You're not renting.
You rent somebody's, well, yes, you do for an hour. I'll give you this much money, lend me this, and I'll give it back to you.
No, you don't.
It's like, it's the hertz of genitalia.
No, but you're bringing it down to a whole different level.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it's. What do you think? It's all lovey-dovey?
But you don't rent. You don't actually rent.
That's essentially what you do.
No, I disagree. That's a terrible. That's demeaning to women.
No, it's sex workers. That's what you're doing.
Work it, baby. Hey, Sugar, you looking for a date?
That's what you're demeaning. If you put it that way, that's what exactly you do. You wouldn't pay for sex.
I would not.
Why? If it's all so fun?
Well, because I don't need to pay for it, and even if I did, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be something I would ever do.
But in principle, you wouldn't do it anyway.
Never.
Because you believe it's morally wrong.
I don't believe it's morally wrong.
So why wouldn't you do it?
I think in some cases as we had in our previous argument, I think in some cases it is something that might help other areas of society. If you're asking me personally would I do it, I say, under no circumstances would I do it. It's not.
Sure?
Yes. Unless it was you, of course.
Everybody's got their price.
Do you take Amex?
£1 million.
Money, money, money. Must be funny in the rich man's world. Money, money, money. Always sunny in the rich man's world.
God, I wouldn't take £1 million to have
You
sex.
paused then. You were thinking about it. I saw your eyes. You were thinking about it. 2.
Would you?
For £1 million? Yeah.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel so sorry for the person. I'd have to do it.
No, I wouldn't take £1 million for sex. I'm sorry. My husband would go mad. It's not worth £1 million to me. This is like this film with Demi Moore and what's it called?
I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
Sex workers, I think that it's a necessary business. Let's put it that way. It's a very sensitive subject. I'll tell you why. This is what I think. What about all of the child abuse and all that? Does it not help that?
Trafficking, of course. It's a terrible industry. It's a disgusting industry.
No, but paying for sex, so I'm talking about sex workers.
Yeah.
Do you think that as an industry, it might alleviate the abuse that goes on if there were more available?
No.
Why?
Because I don't think anyone... Ask yourself this. When I argue with liberal-minded people say, oh, what's wrong with prostitution? What's wrong with being a sex worker? And I say to them, would you be happy if your daughter said to you, Daddy, Mummy, when I grow up, I want to be a sex worker?
No, you're missing the point.
The point is...
But I want to make a point. The point is this. If you've got Uncle Bob, and Uncle Bob goes home in the evening to the 14-year-old, I'd rather Uncle Bob pay 200 quid than... That would be my argument for sex workers.
So Uncle Bob can go and exploit someone else as long as it's not your kid.
No, but that's not the point. The point is
that is the point.
No, but the sex worker will have made a conscious decision to become a sex worker.
Sex workers are exploited.
Well, they are. Now that's a whole different slice of the cake.
That's central to it.
No.
The question was, should you pay for sex? And I don't believe you should pay for sex.
Well, there's pros and cons to it, I'm sorry. And in the countries where...
Well, you're saying they're kind of social workers that take care. They siphon off this erotic drive that could be used in a different way. That's like saying, well, they may, if rapists had somewhere else to go and do their business, they wouldn't hurt women. They wouldn't hurt women. Is that what you're saying?
Rape is a crime.
Well, molesting small children is a crime.
And that's why a sex worker might be an aid.
Anyway, that's a very abstract question. I think you should bring it back down to men and women. Should men pay for sex? And my theory is no. I think it exploits women. I think it's the idea that you could just buy that kind of intimacy, I think is wrong. I don't think you'd want your children to be in that position.
No.
To do that.
I don't.
Whereas the modern liberal, non-judgmental attitude is, that's fine if people want to do that. Nobody becomes a sex worker if they had an alternative.
I don't necessarily think that people should pay for sex, but I do think that there are arguments around it, which is probably too heavy of a discussion.
Well, yeah, a lot of people would say you do pay for sex. When you take a woman out for dinner, when you go to the theater, the whole process of seduction is a lot of pain in the hope it leads to sex.
To sex. But that's very analytical, isn't it?
Well, that's what we're here to do. Thank you very much for joining us in our discussion of life and love.
With Mairead and Cosmo. Two dating gurus.
Nerds.